Hey, it's Dave too. I have a two-part remote viewing session today. A person showed up in my Discord DMs a couple months ago, or like 2 months ago. They actually were very knowledgeable of everything in the remote viewing field. They've done a ton of reading. They know a lot. They're doing sessions. So I decided to take a target from them. And I thought it was going to be, I had like no real expectations on it, but I was blown away. It was an awesome target. I had a lot of fun. So that's what I'm going to be sharing here today. I thought that I was doing the main target when I did it. And then I got retasked with the second one, which they said was the main. So that's what the second installment will be following this. Going into feedback, here is my debriefing file. I've blocked out the tasking and I've blocked out who the tasker is. The tasking was the angel that David Morehouse encountered in the desert in Jordan, as told in his book, Pschic Warrior, which I think is a phenomenal tasking. For those that don't know about the context, I will sit here and read this from ChatGPT. The raw session data will be later in the video. You can skip forward to that if you already know all the context and such. And then after I explain the context, I'll do the summary of what the session was about. So, for context, in David Morehouse's book, Pschic Warrior, Inside CIA's Stargate Program, he recounts an event that took place during his service as a U.S. Army officer in Jordan, which he refers to as the Angel Event. This incident is one of the pivotal moments in Morehouse's life that led him down the path toward his involvement in the Stargate Program, a top-secret military initiative focused on remote viewing and psychic phenomenon. While stationed in Jordan as part of a joint military training exercise with Jordanian forces, Morehouse was serving as a company commander. During one of these exercises, a live fire incident occurred, and Morehouse was struck in the head by a stray bullet that passed through his helmet. The impact caused a serious head injury, which he describes as both traumatic and transformative. Morehouse recounts that as he lay on the ground after being hit, he had a vivid and extraordinary experience. He describes seeing a vision of an angel standing before him, radiating a powerful light. This angel figure communicated with him, providing a profound sense of peace and a message that he was being protected and guided. Despite the severity of his injury, Morehouse miraculously survived and was later medically evacuated. Aftermath and significance. The Angel event had a profound impact on Morehouse's life and beliefs. He began to experience a series of unusual psychic phenomena, including out-of-body experiences and spontaneous remote viewing episodes. These experiences led him to question the nature of reality and even brought him into contact with the U.S. military's secret remote viewing program. Morehouse's description of the Angel event serves as a key turning point in Pschic Warrior, marking the beginning of his journey from a conventional military officer to someone deeply involved in the exploration of psychic abilities and their potential uses in military intelligence. The book itself blends autobiographical elements with broader discussions of the Stargate program and its implications, making the Angel event a significant and memorable part of his narrative. I absolutely love this task. All respect to David Morehouse. If you haven't taken his courses or anything, it's not really that expensive. He's got a whole CRV course. I bought it for the ERV side of it. It's phenomenal. They have a really great practice target pool. I would definitely go take that up. And if you haven't read Pschic Warrior, you should definitely go take a look. So, what is my data? I'll just read the ChatGPT summary of the transcript that I always do. So for those that don't know, I do a thing I call visual remote viewing. I talk into this mic right here with an eye mask on. I record a audio file or a video file. Sometimes this was an audio, toss it to Otter AI to get the transcript, and then I ask ChatGPT to summarize it. So the remote viewing session described involved the viewer exploring a target that initially presents as a complex, non-physical, and possibly symbolic space. The viewer perceives a funnel-like shape and corkscrew motion, usually you get that for something kind of astrally, leading to an environment reminiscent of both an ancient Indiana Jones-like structure and a dreamlike Inception-style mental construct. I love ChatGPT. This is so cool. The session involves navigating through these imagined spaces, encountering a mysterious script on a pedestal in a stone room. The viewer experiences a sense of a message being just out of reach, with the environment around that message feeling constructed, ethereal, and intangible, and if it's a mental or conceptual space rather than a physical one. The session concludes that the viewer with the viewer feeling a sense of unresolved curiosity, as if the key to understanding or unlocking the message remains elusive, despite the vivid and intriguing imagery encountered. My session data, I had that funnel shape, the corkscrew sensation. That's typically something that means we're going to go all weird, woo-woo, etheric. I had a sweet, faint sense of incense, so it was very mystical. There were like bird chirpings, and there's this slow piano melody that I hear that's like Cloud Atlas, but I think I'm actually hearing like astral sounds sometimes. Let's see here. There's a transition from, here's the drawings. I basically show up, it's this purple temple looking thing. There was a hallway, like when I enter that, I have some AI imagery below. And there was this little chamber room with this pedestal and a beam of light coming onto it. There's the pedestal with the light beam on it. There's a gold circular thing with a message on an old script or scroll that had this message. The intangible and symbolic elements, the message feels significant, but just out of reach. Association with numbers, song lyrics or lottery numbers, imagery of a psychic landmark or a mental construct, and the metaphysical insights, the location felt made up, like it was somewhere without a specific place in time and space. The term key to the reality, dramatic elements like into Inception, emotional impact, feeling of relief, and optimism if the message is reached. And for conclusion, if I regretted anything, doesn't seem like it. Comparison to a Stargate episode with holographic data projections. And yeah. So if we look at the context of what David Morehouse had, he experienced this angel giving him a message and like showing up in a big ball of light and everything. And I'm explaining this scenario with like a message on a pedestal. It changed his sense of reality. I said that this message was reality changing. All of the data really fits. And one of the things I want to dive into here is there is a set of paintings known as the Annunciation. And the Annunciation is when there's an angel Gabriel that comes down to Mary, and he's basically saying you're going to have the Christ. Some of the interpretations of it is basically like divinity coming down into a avatar or body into existence. This is hugely pat on the back to David Morehouse here, that this is basically me detailing that he had this extreme experience of being given some sort of extrasensory perception divinity. And these are just the ones that are on this page. I highly recommend going to Wikipedia and looking that up. And there was one, if I just search for the Annunciation, that I think popped up in images over here. Check it out. Right there. Oh. We're on Getty Images. There's a pedestal with a message. It's gold, the light beam coming down, and an angel. And look at that. There's even a little red ball like I had in my session feedback. Amazing. Incredible. I love it. So it's a quick session. I think I spent 18 minutes on it. Afterwards, it comes down to about 10. This is not the one that had the AI imagery in it. So that's okay. Maybe I'll include it in the video afterwards. I think what I'm going to do is, yes, I can do the AI stuff, or I can draw it on here. I haven't decided which I'm going to do, but the raw video will be coming up next. And then there is a detail after this. After detailing this Annunciation event and all of that, we take it somewhere else, and that one gets even weirder. It's a good time. So I think I've covered everything here. If all sounds good, please take a listen. It's probably pretty quick and pretty fun, and maybe we can all learn something. And I hope that if this ever came across David Morehouse, which I don't think it would because I'm really tiny and small here, he'd be like, wow, that's cool and okay with him. And yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching. This is Dave 2 on 2024 at p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing a target for they have it here, and I'm just going to say target. It's something that they find very important or interesting. Initial impression is this like funnel type of shape or something. We're going to do our ideogram. So there's like this corkscrew winding sensation going downward. I had this once before, and it was very etheric, and it had to do something with like a probability thing. I think David's session on the lottery had something like this as well, where that was symbolic representational of something like a choice event thing. Let's take this. We're going to open it up. I've never had this before. So in my proprioception space, I have this like bubble here. It's like there's two opposing things. I'm in like a big circle thing with like two opposing sides to it. I'm AOLing like a pill-shaped vertical capsule. It's dark, not a lot of light. AOL the Titan submarine. That's funny. So the dimensionals are, it's like tall, vertical. Those are flat shapes and stuff. It's dark. What are the textures? So it's solid, but there's this sense of solid but not real. Is that correct? It's also reminding me of some sort of AOL of the Disney movie, the Atlantis one, where like they go underground to go to Atlantis or whatever. You know that thing? Where it's and Tomb Raider style, where there's this big front Petra style entrance to something. That's the AOL here. Let's discard all of that. Smells. There's a sweet, flowery, like ever so faint light incense smell. Taste, no taste, real temperature. It's weird because it's like room temperature, but the room temperature is an absence of temperature, which is implying to me yet again that this is like a non-physical target that may have some sort of three-dimensional physicality of it. Almost like it's an idea or something. AOL of Dick Algar's Tanner Dam. Sound. There's like these little bird-like chirps in the background, but then like a Cloud Atlas style piano sound, which I was hearing this astral piano a while ago, and it sounds a little bit like that, where it's just this kind of like walking waltz thing that's very slow. Very AOL Cloud Atlas running. The dimensionals, there's these verticality components. When I started going around, what I said felt like a pill capsule or something. I have the walls to my left and right, but then those kind of like go inward a little bit to make a little bit like an X shape. And then it kind of comes out, but there's this thing that then protrudes out of this vertical face in front of me. And it feels like there's something that I could go into the front there. The aesthetic impact here is totally, it's like Inception, like trying to read someone's mind vault. Like they have like a vaulted memory locked away. There's Inception and all those things. So it feels like there's a lighter spot on this wall. Like I could possibly go into it. I kind of want to move operation. Can I go in this? Weird. It's like a no with a wink. Like you can, like there's a desire for somebody to do it, but also not to. And that area, weird. It's like this three-dimensional box that is like foam, which feels, remember in the 90s, they'd fill up things with smoke or something and then like light it, and it would look like, I don't know, and then shoot lasers and stuff through it. It kind of looks like that without the lasers. And that's this orangish color or something, but it feels like this foam block that I can't get through. So I move through that, and I'm AOLing like this stone room built of blocks, very Indiana Jones-like. It's a cube, and there's kind of this like descending step thing to the middle and a pedestal on it, very Indiana Jones like. There's like a light beam, but like no way that there's a light source that's shining on it. And it feels like the objective of whatever is right here. It's like a gold circular thing. Got a thing that there's like a message. It's like a scroll or a script. What's really crazy is I have this tingles, and this reminds me of Red Dog, where like time kind of like slowed down as I approached this thing. So I'm looking at this piece of paper. What is on the paper? I have a whiteboard behind me. I'm just gonna do some automatic writing. I have my blindfold on, by the way. So the word kindly. All right. To recap, when I landed, there are these two big purpley dark structures around me, AOL, like some cavern, and this thing in front of me. It felt like there was a passageway through that was blocked with this like foamy type material. I went through that, and there's this cube-like structure thing with some lit pillar in the middle, and on that is this piece of paper that's actually like angled up towards me. That feels like an old script or something, that there's a message on it, and there's something with the color red that's like a circle. It almost feels like there's like a symbol or something, or those like rubber stamp, or not the rubber, the stamp things. Okay. The tangible would be, we're gonna S4 deconstruct this. And yeah, it's thin, papery, but then my mind corrects me. It's like, this isn't real. Thin, papery, yellow, this is S2. It feels like it's like washed in water or something. I don't know. It feels like a receipt, which is weird. And the aesthetic impact of this whole thing is Indiana Jones. Like, I feel like I'm on an adventure to go find something. This is really fun. Even if I'm completely off target, I don't care. The S4 was this piece of paper. And the first intangible is that it feels like there's a message. What is intangible? Let's take the message as intangible. What is intangible about the message? Creation. Wanting to know, the AOL Fox Mulder being like, I want to believe. What is intangible about this message? It is like numbers or something. And I don't know why I heard like 8675309, like that old song. That's weird. Something for the key. It sounds like David Attenborough is narrating. What is intangible about this message? It feels like something that's just out of reach. Like the message is something that is just out of reach. It's right there. And not just to me, like I can't grab it, but it's also like this message is just waiting to be discovered. And it's like sitting there and ready and willing, but like you just can't reach it. AOLing because the numbers, like lotto tickets or like numbers or whatever. Because this is unreachable, there's questions like, why is it unreachable? But move to, if I had reached it, what would I have? And there's this aesthetic impact of like a weight being lifted off my chest. Like the weight's lifted off my chest. I feel relief. I feel optimistic, hopeful. Move back to the room that we're in. There's a crickling sound, which is weird. All right, what is the relationship between the message and the location? Show me some weird analogy of like the location morphing around it, but it's like some sort of mental construct to be able to find a data point. So for instance, it's really like, it'd be like trying to find it's like a landmark. There's this thing that's like a psychic landmark that's like, here I am, come find this. And it's to try and like build a landmark or something recognizable around a specific piece so that you can get to it. And it feels like we're there, but we just have to like zoom in to get to this message. I can't read the message. What is clairaudiently? What is the message? Read the message to me. What you see cannot be found. It can only be beholden. I don't know what that means. One, too many, two place. Let's S4 the location real quick. What is intangible about the location? It feels made up. Which is kind of what I was saying before, a construct. In terms of like kinesthetically, where am I? I feel like I am nowhere. Like normally, you could say I'm at the end of Jupiter or I'm here on the East Coast of the United States or whatnot. This feels like it doesn't have a location in time and space. It's just kind of there. I heard the term key to reality. It's kind of cheesy, weird. What is intangible about this location? Feels like there's a dramatic element to it. And it keeps going back to that. Is it Inception? Where it's like there's this deep lockbox of something, like this consciousness mental box that is hidden away and quote unquote locked, but there's this desire to unlock it and to find out what the message is. And it's kind of like attached to this feeling of relief, where if we could just get there to this thing just out of reach, everything would be solved. What would I regret most about the session if I ended it right now? I heard this weird like sound, and then the lit room kind of turned dark and there's this green mist that spun up out of the middle. What is regretful about not doing this? It just spun up with this like 3-dimensional projection thing. This is reminding me of, there's this Stargate episode where they find this key thing that has these holograms and stuff, and it has all this wonderful data. And like I'm about to like leave that. Can I just come? It says I can come back. It's like you won't be back blind, but you come back again and give it a try. This would be very much like a visual meditation experience. And in order to get back, that's so cool. It's not in 3-dimensional space reality. It's like in a totally different spot. Okay. I'm going to end session, toss this through Otter AI, put it to ChatGPT, send the summary, possibly send you the recording. Thanks. That was really fun.